Agenda 2063 is basically like bringing back to life everything that Africans have been crying for all along. Africans want a continental free trade area. They want a situation where we have a single currency that is backed with gold. They want to be able to freely interact with their fellow African. They want freedom from colonialism. They want imperialism to die a natural death on the continent of Africa. There are too many limitations we have as Africans. And the dream of every African, especially in this generation, is to see all those bottlenecks, all those bureaucratic bottlenecks that are actually imposed on us, by higher powers, to be completely removed, all those red tapes to be taken out of the way so that Africans can live and thrive on their own land without having to go to embassies and queue upon lines trying to get visas to travel abroad. In Nigeria, they call it jackpot. We don't need to be jackbarring all up and down the whole place just because we want to go to a place where we can get greener pastures. Africa is where the green pasture is. And so this is a situation where we want to bring all the big, talking heads together, all the big African brands and beyond into one room and get them to brainstorm on how we can make what we are planning for 2063 happen in 2025 and beyond. That's basically what this is all about. And as we go on, I'm going to just read you some of the agenda of what the Agenda 2063 is all about. I have them written down here, and I think that people need to know that as well.
All right, let's shoot then. Let's go ahead and let us know what the agenda is all about.
Okay, so the agenda includes 15 flagship projects. This was set up in 2015, and by 2015, they were already projecting that certain things would have happened by 2020. And I'm going to read you this. Number one is we want a high-speed train network connecting all African capitals and commercial centers. Number two, the formulation of a strategy for transforming the African economy from a supplier of raw materials to one that actively uses its own resources. Because what we do in Africa is we basically do raw material supplying to Europe. We just grow raw materials and we supply them. Number three, it says the establishment of the African Continental Free Trade Area, which I just talked about, the introduction of the African Union passport, and removal of all visa requirements for its holders within Africa. Tell me, why would Africans be traveling to African countries and they will still be having to go look for visas? The same way you look for visas to go to Europe. In Europe, it doesn't happen that way. The establishment of the single African air transport market, okay? The establishment of an annual African Economic Forum, the establishment of a set of financial institutions envisaged as an African investment bank, a Pan-Africanist stock exchange, an African monetary fund, and an African central bank. Now what we have is International Monetary Fund, World Bank, and I'm not a fan of any one of those organizations, because those organizations, truth be told, are the reason African countries are indebted. We are called debtor continent or debtor nations in Africa because of these organizations, IMF and the rest of them. If we have our own that has its own autonomy and independence, and we are able to oil our own economy indigenously, domestically in Africa, we will not have to take any loan from any IMF or World Bank. These are not just talking points. These are things that are actionable, and we need to get to the point of taking action on them.